New York is the largest, most densely populated city in America and the financial capital of the world. Our city has almost 1 million properties, conservatively estimated at a value of more than $800 billion. And here, unlike in every other industry, real estate remains tied to place. We cannot presume on our position in the world. You can't be a great 21st century global city with a 70-year-old skyline and 100-year-old infrastructure. Investment in New York's real estate is an investment in our nation's future. America needs a strong New York for the tax dollars we send to Washington, for the national and global talent we train here, and for the jobs this city generates and finances worldwide.
The income from real estate taxes is a major source of revenue for the city because the real estate business not only provides revenue to the city's budget, but it provides thousands and thousands of jobs throughout this 5 boroughs, and it also provides the engine for the new construction. And so when you add up all those jobs and that revenue, it's a critical element in the city's economy.
I think it's a great advantage for us to stay out in the forefront of the rest of the world. And the way we're going to do that is to constantly set the pace for what great cities are about. And there's no doubt in my mind that we are that pace setter now. And it's important to keep that very prestigious #1 position.
What differentiates our country from the rest of the world is our brain power. And people want to be here. We can't disincentivize people from not wanting to live and bring up their children and work here in the United States, and particularly in New York City.
To remain a global center, it's going to be critical that we figure out how to develop new construction. I think it's something that we've talked about previously. The existing office stock in New York City, in fact, is old. It's getting very old.
New development has $25, $30 a square foot of real estate taxes. To help encourage that development, there's going to have to be some kind of abatement, some kind of lowering of those taxes, at least initially.
We're going to need to focus on a policy to incentivize new construction, whether that means tax policies, whether that means additional zoning incentives. Ultimately, what is going to maintain the ascendancy of New York as a world-class city will in fact be new large-scale development.
Well, the city today needs new housing construction for rentals, and I think it's going to take a lot of creativity in providing for that, since there aren't any state programs and there aren't any real federal programs that provide for the workforce housing that's needed. One, you're going to need probably cheaper, if not free land. You're going to have a labor agreement with the unions so that you have a reduced wage scale. And you're going to have to know how to really design and build buildings that really work and that can be cost efficient.
The residential brokerage industry has been completely changed in the last 10 or 15 years by the advent of electronic media. We have had to define in a new way how we add value to the transaction. And today, our value added comes from expertise, not information. It's going to be more and more about ways in which information makes its way more seamlessly to the prospective purchaser.
Most tenants are very interested to make sure that the building they're moving into is a green building, is environmentally responsible. Most tenants today, large tenants, insist that the building have a LEED rating. Focus of sustainable construction initially, and certainly at 4 Times Square, was basically on reducing energy consumption. As we built more of these buildings, we realized the focus has to be on providing an efficient workspace for the tenants and occupants. The reason we incorporate sustainable development into our buildings, into our new buildings and our existing buildings, is because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do for the environment, and it's the right thing to do for the tenants, and it's the right thing to do for our bottom line.
What's really interesting about Norman Foster's Hearst building is that that was a landmark property that was an old property where they had pegs on top, and it was actually made so that you could put a new building on top of that. And I think the city has to look at a lot of the other landmarks, an example being 1356 Broadway, which is the Gotham Hall building. I could visualize on that building, as well as many other former bank buildings, putting a new structure on top of the beautiful old structures on the base. Like you see in Europe, where they've combined old properties with new properties, the magnificence of the old detail that was done in the early 1900s, the 1920s, is fantastic, but you don't have the new greening technology and you don't have the new infrastructure in the buildings that you need.
There's a great risk that this city could fall into a habit of assuming that just because we are New York City, developers are going to build. And just because we are New York City, tenants are going to come. And that no matter what the cost, people will always want to be here.
It's about the economy, and what the federal government should be doing is trying to create jobs.
I believe that EDC should continue to try to solicit biotech companies, technology companies, entrepreneurial companies, and industries that we can expand from our dependence on Wall Street.
I think even as our economy begins to recover, the major issue we're facing as a city and state government, are these enormous potential structural budget gaps.
I think New York, to be competitive, has to eliminate the high construction costs.
Immigration reform, lowering taxes, creating an appropriate regulatory environment so that people don't feel frustrated or get overtaxed by regulation to expand and grow their businesses.
The work we're doing transcends our industry and encompasses the city's larger needs. New York is what we sell. It's the only product we have, and we in real estate are leading on behalf of the entire business community. Whether it's attracting global talent, sustaining a diverse population, driving innovation, or building the infrastructure we need to compete in this century, real estate is at the core of what we do. Our skyline is more than a metaphor for the aspiration of New York. It's what keeps our city running. And our mandate extends to our cities and our nation's competitiveness in the world.